Emotional intelligence is a term that a lot of people hear bandied about, and it just flies somewhere in the atmosphere and we don't know what it is. And then could you break that down so that we can understand how self-awareness and those self-management and a whole host of things fall within emotional intelligence?
Absolutely. So let me begin by saying why it's important so that persons will realize that, listen, when I see it flying around, I need to hold on to it. So emotional intelligence is the research has shown, it's the single most valid and reliable predictor of leadership success. So that's why it's important. Mm-hmm. Another wonderful thing about it is that you can develop it. Unlike your IQ, which is essentially fixed, with your EQ or EI, you can develop it. So if you find that you're lacking in it now, you can make a conscious decision to rectify that. So there are 4 components in the simplest model, the one I use in the book, and I'll share it now. And it begins with self-awareness, as I mentioned before. Following on self-awareness, you have self-management or self-regulation. So you know yourself and you're able to regulate or control how you show up. The other 2 components relate to other. So the first 2 components relate to self, and then the other 2 relate to other. So you need, in addition to of your own emotions as you experience them and as you express them, it's important to be able to read the emotions of others.
Others, yes.
And that's something that, unfortunately, not everyone can do. So you need to have self-awareness, self-regulation, awareness of the emotions of others, and then the interpersonal relationships. Because at the end of the day, every leader should realize that it's all about relationships. Whether it's family, whether it's work, church, community. Human beings, we're social beings, and it's all about getting things done with and through others. So the quality of the relationships that you're able to have will help to determine your level of success.
Oh my goodness, that just made some people very uncomfortable, because oftentimes they'll say to you, yeah, we don't have to be friends. We're not friends, as a matter of fact. And so right away, you create a barrier, a mental block, an emotional block that says you and I will never get along. And as a consequence, I will never work for you nor with you. And so how do we break that down so that the individual who has responsibility for involving others, for motivating others, reach across and say, you know what, let me help you. Let's help each other. How do we break that down?
All right. Let's make the distinction between being friends and being friendly. I don't need to come to your home. You don't need to come to mine. We don't need to call each other. Nobody calls anybody. No, we don't need to be WhatsApping, and on each other's timeline. Yes. And that. But we do need to be friendly towards each other. And, we'll get to this a little later on, but there's some essential building blocks that will help to ensure that we have mutually beneficial relationships.